clear out the west side of that river there. Before we push more from that side, let's start pushing down from this side. And try to just herd them all, so to speak, into as small a space as we can. Oops. Let's move the other parts of the Soviet-controlled area further away, because sometimes what happens when non-combat units relocate, they can slip through your lines if they have an area not too far away that is controlled by their force, their side still. Then when they have the relocation move, there's a chance that they relocate there instead of staying within the pocket. Oh, these guys are holding on like crazy in this. What we have here is a swamp. That explains part of it. Finally got them to surrender. 8,000 men, 133 guns, and 8 AFVs bagged there, but they fought well in that swamp southwest of Minsk. Over here we'll drive them with the 3rd Panzer Division. Just a little bit. And I'll do the rest of the driving with the infantry divisions that are coming up. Let's take a look at how we're doing. We're now up to 150 victory points. And we've got one little sub-pocket left here. Really, if I were super careful about this, I would probably move all the guys outside the pockets first to push back the other borders to, again, further isolate those pockets, keep them as far away from friendly territory as possible, and only then push into the pockets. If I were playing to absolutely maximize points, I'm sure that's what I would do. But in this case, we're mainly looking at this as a play for fun and an education moment, so I'm not going to worry too much about being crazy about having everything be optimal. But when you are playing against even the challenging AI in a longer campaign, and certainly against a human player, you do have to be pretty careful about making sure that you plan out your moves carefully and do things in the optimal order to inflict as much pain as possible on your opponent's forces, because you never know when letting a particular division or a corps out of the sack, so to speak, is going to come back and bite you. Okay, let's do the final push into this pocket here. We should all start surrendering now. There's no more room left for them to go. Alright, so as you can see, that huge pocket that we formed there is now all cleaned up. which means at this point the Soviets have now lost 360,000. That's, a lot of those were surrendered troops at this point. You can see 291,000 captured, 50,000 disabled, 18,000 killed, and they're up to 2,386 AFVs lost, over 5,000 guns lost. Pretty staggering losses from taking all those troops that were trapped in that pocket. And that's brought us up to 188 victory points. So let's see if we can seal the deal here. My main priority now, before we end this particular playthrough, is I'm going to make sure that I have a solid line over to Zlobin, that we have our line of communication secured there. And I might make one attempt to see if we can take Mogilev as well. Saw their brief message about some of the population evacuating too. This way that manpower can be preserved with the Soviets. Now, historically they did conduct a delaying action here, a fight along the Berezina River, and indeed what we have here is a rifle division and a motorized division that are now going to create some problems for me here as far as linking back up with the division that previously reached Zlobin, because now that route that was open then is not nearly as open now. Let's see, let's take this division and see if we can reunify it and loop around from the north and dislodge them that way. Oops. It's part of that division. Where's the rest of this one? Here it is. Alright, so we've recombined that, and let's try going through here. Hitting them from the rear, not going across the river. It worked, as you might expect. We're going to try to we're going to have another unit that will push on further. Let's see if we have a good candidate for that. We've got our split up Panzer Corps here. Let's again reunify that now that the pocket is closed. Panzer Division rather. And let's see if we can send them. Ooh, not enough movement. They can maybe bump these guys out of the way. Helps a bit. And we're back here. These guys are available. And we have a motorized division here that has some supplies. We can reach to there, and we'll try again to dislodge them from across the river. It didn't work that time. We're running low on guys that can reach our isolated unit there. I think we're going to have to borrow from the other Panzer Corps again if we can. I think we're not going to be pushing on to Mogilev this turn. What we will do is we'll use these guys, and you can see the difference here too. This unit with 15 movement is down to just 31% of its necessary fuel. These guys still have 65% and they have 46%. So we'll take this unit that has 65% and we'll try to clear out this area north of Mogilev. And it turns out that we had destroyed enough of the frontline units that we were able to push through these second-rate rear area units and actually take Mogilev from the side. We did manage to push the defenders in the west away, but that was a coup. I'm gonna move this unit out of Vitebsk to clear the rest of the way to Mogilev. So you can see where they were defending along this river line, we were able to come at them from the flank and actually succeed. Now we just need to keep this line to be TEPS protected. I'm going to use these 2 regiments here to try to dislodge this airborne unit. And the Soviet airborne are pretty tough when it comes to fighting. What we'll instead try to do is isolate them from the back. And we'll move this infantry regiment up here to further expand. Possibilities there. Move these guys through again to isolate that airborne regiment, and hopefully that will keep Mogilev safe. Now I've got absolutely nothing that I can push through to Zlobin except for them. And they have enough movement that I could get 1 attack in and try to clear that road. But they've got 12% fuel. So at that point I leave it open for the AI to retake Zlobin. So I'm going to park that on Zlobin, separate them out. I'm going to leave 1 regiment on Zlobin, and the others can't quite push up the road because regiments have a slower time getting through zone of control than full divisions. But that may still prevent them from going back and retaking Zlobin. I think as far as the rest of this goes, we've done enough, so let's, while there are some more units that we can move around here, let's see if that was enough. Let's push through to the end of the game and see what the results are. We'll see what the AI manages to do, if anything, on its turn. So here we're having the end of scenario gameplay. So we actually pulled us out of the end with both that last push to Mogilev and holding on and Vitebsk. I think we're going to have done it. Access decisive victory. So let's take a look at the victory points. Yep, we got the victory points for Minsk, Vitebsk, Mogilev, and Zlobin at the end, so we actually succeeded in all of our objectives. And we earned quite a few points. Looks like we earned maybe close to 200 points from the casualties. The Soviets did gain some points, but not enough to stop us from getting to a decisive victory. And that was a pretty close run thing, honestly. If they had kept us from taking these map edge objectives and kept accruing points for those, it would not have been a decisive victory for us. It might have even been a draw. So you can see here, by pushing out here, we've got a supply line running through a swamp, but we do have supplies restored to our units there. We managed to cut off these forward units by the Berezina River and the airborne in the swamp. We're still holding on at Mogilev, we're still holding our supplies at Vitebsk. So in the main campaign, we'd be in a good position to now leap forward to the next stage. At the same time, though, cleaning up that rear area, bringing your supply lines forward, keeping the rail repair going is all critical to how things go after that first push. And I stress this is an introductory scenario, but this gives you an idea of how War in the East plays and how easy it is, interface-wise and information management-wise, to do what you need to do. So I hope you all enjoyed it, and I hope you consider War in the East if you have not already tried it. Thanks a lot, everyone, and I will see you again someday for another Twitch stream.